Hello and welcome back to 4,000 and Counting. I'm Watty. This is Mark, and we are back for another episode. Before we get to that, I just want to thank everybody that's got us to the number one in the Apple podcast charts. We've been sitting there for 4 or 5 days now, and yeah, just keep downloading. Owen Sobchak, his episode's just dropped. Tonight, we are joined live by Ross Murray, Mr. Six Time, and head coach Martin Grubb. We're really looking forward to get those boys on. We're bringing you all the brand new content, brand new people all the time, even some returning guests coming in the future. It's going to be good. The podcast's growing. We love it. We love you guys that are listening in. So thank you for that. New subject for the day is our weekend roundup. It's been a busy couple of days. Elite League, NIHL, plenty of games, plenty of teams changing spots, certain teams securing titles, I believe. I mean, we called it a couple of weeks back, and it's now got into that stage of the season where every result really, really matters. Mark, where do you want to kick off? Do you want to go Elite League? Do you want to go National League?
Let's start with the Elite as always, and
Let's
then
do it
off with the National.
So, with the Elite League, Belfast Giants are currently sitting top of the table. But the thing that interested me, we're going to go into this real quick before we go into the results. The form table for the last 20 games. Now, the last 20 games, I saw the Belfast Giants get 35 points. Is that good? Is that good? Yeah. It's pretty good. When you consider, by the way, Coventry have been a wagon as well recently. I think four wins on a week for Coventry. Madness. So, yeah. In that run, they've beat Sheffield twice, they've beat Belfast, they've beat Guildford, and they've beat Cardiff. Beware if you run into Coventry Blaze in the playoffs, which if it looks like right now, it's the Steelers. I've got Coventry right now, if it goes. That would be a really interesting goaltender battle if that is the playoff lineup. Then Guildford on 27, Cardiff on 27, Sheffield on 24. Manchester, they clinched their playoff spot. They're playing 500 hockey. They've got 19 points. Now, as the league actually sits with the table, can you run us through what like the gaps are? So obviously Cardiff are top. Is it then Guildford in second?
Guildford in second. Let me give you the updated version. Cut that bit because I've got Belfast top on mine.
Yeah, Belfast top, yeah. What did I say?
So we've got Belfast top, 75 points, 48 games. We've got Guildford in second, 70 points, 47 games. We've got Cardiff in third, 69 points, 48 games. Steelers in fourth, 68 points, 47 games.
Yeah, that sounds right. So Belfast have opened up a little gap. The form they're in, I had said Guildford on our prediction video. I rarely change my predictions, but I did last week. I changed to Belfast based on their performances of late. Guildford then they drop points at home to the Steelers this weekend. Do you know what's real shit about that? I was speaking to a couple of lads about it. So Guildford play in Dundee on Saturday. They then have to travel back down past Sheffield to Guildford. They get home at like 7 a.m., whereas Sheffield sleep in their own bed. And then they got like a 3.5 hour journey. Guildford were always going to be up against it. And I fucking forgot, but I was going to go down the bookies and stick a fucking $1 on Sheffield because that's a tough trip. You go all the way up to Dundee. Now, bravo to Dundee Stars TV, by the way. I sat and watched the highlights of that Dundee Guildford game yesterday.
Yeah.
Phenomenal package. Yeah. Loads of different angles, great commentary, really good replays. I mean, it's fucking sick. Seriously good. Like, really good. Their social media team have been brilliant. You know, like when they signed Kyle Haas last year, I was like, after watching the video they put together, I was like, I'm buzzing to see this dude play hockey because the social media team did a very good job. But we're a bit all over the show. So let's go to the actual results. Let's tell people the Saturday results.
So the Devils were at home to the Blaze and lost in overtime 4-3. The Stars, as we just mentioned there, they lost at home 5-2 to the Flames. The Steelers took a 4-0 loss at home to the Giants. And the Flyers, up in 5, 3-2 home win against the Panthers.
That is a huge victory for Fife, by the way. They are there. I think they're sitting in 9th place as it stands, with 3 games on hand in the clan, who are currently holding on to that last playoff spot. I'm just going to pull the standings up here just to make sure I'm right.
Fife for 1 game in hand now.
1 game in hand now.
Clan.
So
and 1 point behind. So
yeah,
they're on 32 points, and the clan are on 33.
woo! It's tight at the bottom. Really tight at the bottom. We picked Fife. And they have Manchester up next. Let's see who else they've got. They got Manchester and Glasgow back to back.
Oh, there we go.
If you're Fife and don't get a 4-point weekend this weekend, especially if you lose to Glasgow, season's done. It could be all over. Or if you get a 4-point weekend, that could be. This is exciting now. This is why I love this time of the year, because it is exciting. Like, you don't get any points, you're fucked. You get 4 points, you're in. It's all to play for. And if you can't get up for those games as a player or a fan, then there's something wrong with you. Like, if I was playing in those games at the weekend, I'm buzzing right now. Already. Like, it'd be Tuesday, Wednesday, practice. You're just feeling it. You're ready. Like,
It should be sellout games, huh?
Yeah, they should be.
These are crucial games. Yeah, that's to get into the playoffs. Everyone wants a slice of that.
Yeah, to get Belfast and then get fucking smoked over 2 legs. That's the thing as well. That you work your balls off to get that 8th spot, and your reward is like Belfast or Leeds. Like MK Thunder. It's a bit different in the South one this year because there's only 8 teams. So they will qualify, but like in prior years, the last couple of seasons, when imagine you're working your ass off to get Streatham, or you're working your ass off to get Solway. It's hard, but you'd still rather be playing hockey that weekend.
Yeah,
doesn't matter who you're going to play, because there's always a chance, albeit very, very slim chance. And I think whoever Belfast are going to win the league for me now. I think it's almost nailed on of how good they've been of late. Whether they get the clan or whether they get the Flyers, it's going to be a fucking bloodbath. I think.
Yeah.
At playoff time, just think they're going to be far, far too good. I mean, I would not be surprised if we see like a 9-3 what we had the other day in the cup final. Belfast have got it all, and if they can wrap this title up to add to the cup, then who knows what they're going to be like in the playoffs.
Yeah. They've just beat Steelers away 4-0. I mean, that's
good performance. Very good performance.
And then to go and beat the Storm 4-1 in the Storm Shelter as well the following night.
Manchester's not been an easy place to play. Like I said, 19 points in there out of the last 40 available. Manchester would have probably bit your hand off the last couple of seasons for that kind of form. And now they've got it. Shout out Martin Brodeur in the house as well. The Elite League are milking that for all it's worth. Had a couple of people, like one of my old clients, he's a rep goalie, and he messaged me and he was like, mate, have you seen like Brodeur's there? He's like, get him on the pod. I was like, yeah, I'll just fucking call him up, no problem. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a pretty long waiting list for people wanting Martin Brodeur on their podcast. Isn't he like an NHL executive? He's something. Yeah, like I don't know if he wants to talk to me. As much as we're all right guys on that, I'm pretty sure it's got better things to do.
It's got better things to do, yeah.
But if by any chance any of you Manchester lot are watching, listening, Sully, come on, let's go. Hook a brother up. Don't want to be that guy, but I'll be that guy. You're my friend. Come on. Help me out. Let's go. And yeah, it's great to see him over here. Right. You're Martin Brodeur. What's your first thought when you're walking fucking Altrincham?
How do I get out?
Yeah. Be like, sick practice rink. Where's the real rink? Like, it's like a junior B bloody rink, but they've turned it into a bit of a place to be this year, and they're tough to beat. They're tough to beat on any night, and I don't know which way around it will finish. Will it be Guildford? Will it be Cardiff in that 3rd spot? Coventry have got that 5th spot dialed right in, whereas the Panthers and the Storm are currently obviously 42 points each. Panthers have 2 games in hand. One of those 2 teams is going to play like Guildford or Cardiff. If I was them, I'd rather Nottingham. If I was Guildford or Cardiff and I was picking who I'd want to play over like Nottingham or Manchester, I think I'd rather play Nottingham.
Agreed. Yeah.
Just basing on everything. Like Nottingham Arena's nice arena to go into, change rooms are nice, just little stupid things. Like I don't know, bit less travel.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
Like all these things make a difference. But what about the Sunday results? Let's have a quick scan of the Sunday results before we head off to the National League.
So we had the Dundee Stars with a 2-1 loss to the Panthers at home.
Big result for the Panthers, by the way.
Huge result up in Dundee. That we also had Coventry Blaze 5-0 at home to the Flyers.
Yeah, the Duty out brigade are out in full force at the moment. I've been seeing on Twitter and like the Facebook groups.
Storm, they suffered a 4-1 loss at home to the Giants. Flames, they lost at home 4-1 to the Steelers. So the Steelers had a bit of a bounce back weekend after a 4-0 loss at home the previous night to the Giants. So to beat Guildford 4-1 at their place, that's, Guildford have had an incredible home form as well, haven't they, this season?
Up until the last 3 weeks. And then they lost in OT to the Panthers. They lost that game I was at last week on the Wednesday night against the Blaze. And now they've lost against the Steelers. So maybe it's a little bit of squeaky bum time in Surrey in a battle position that they're not used to being in the Elite League era. Plenty of experience in the EPL era. Plenty of experience in the BNL era, being there or thereabouts. So I don't know. Were they in a false position before? Now? I don't know, because you look at them as a hockey team, they're a good hockey team. I don't know, maybe it's just a little bit of panic. Things aren't working out the way they have been over the course of the season. But we say that, they're still second in the form table as well from the last 20 games.
A game in hand. If they didn't lose to the Steelers, it would be in a completely different position of what we're saying, because
totally.
Game in hand, it's just been, I just think they've just been unlucky.
To be honest, though, it's not the Steelers game for me. I think when we did our Elite League title breakdown, I think we had them beating like Panthers at home, beating the Blaze at home. We might have said they lost to the Steelers at home, because I think we said they would drop a couple, but the points that we were expecting them to drop were not against the Panthers at home or the Blaze at home. So, like you say, one result changes everything, changes the conversation. Belfast could lose this weekend. Guildford win their game in hand. All of a sudden, it's back to a point. They've got to play each other again. I mean, there's going to be more twists and turns, but I just still think with Belfast form, they're going to be too good.
It looks that way.
Right. Sorry, mate. Sorry.
I think that loss has done it for me now to say I think it's Belfast. If that result was different, I would still say Guildford are in with a chance. But yeah, I think it's
still an incredible achievement. Either way, if they finish second in that league, that's still. I mean, not if you're on the team, you'll think it's fucking shit, I'm sure, and you'll go into the summer pissed off. But I think in 5-6 years' time, when you look back, you go, that was some achievement, yeah. But it also depends on then if they build on it next year. Do they add to it? What do they bring in? How do they? I saw a rumor, and I don't really like to quote on rumors, but they're saying Hookie to Guildford. I don't know why Hookie would leave Belfast. Like, I really don't know why he'd leave Belfast. But if he did, Guildford could be a good fit. Big ice rink, loads of room for him to skate. Surrey's a nice place to live. You're really well looked after in Guildford as well. But if I'm Hookie, I'm not leaving Belfast. They're going to play, hopefully going to get to play Champions Hockey League again next year. Yeah. I don't know if it's worked with the Seeds or how it panned out. Yeah, I wouldn't be leaving. Plus, Belfast's a legit city. It's so fucking cool. I love it there. Such a cool city. I would love to just play hockey there for a year. It'd be such good fun. But yeah, National League time, mate. Leeds pulled away a little bit more over the weekend. And I believe we called this on the prediction video of the National that Swindon would beat Leeds at home, which they did. Leeds managed to get a point, which is massive. and now they then go on to the Saturday, Sunday, play Bees on the road. They win 6-4. Evidently not as smooth as they would like. Back at home, sorry. Evidently not as smooth as they'd like, but it's still a 3-point weekend. Whilst MK, what was their results? They lost 7-2 to Basingstoke.
So MK, they lost at home on Saturday 5-4 in overtime to the Phantoms. And then they lost 7-2 on Sunday night away to the Steel Dogs.
So a +2 for the Leeds Knights. I believe the gap is now at 8 points.
Yes, 8 points. 87 points. The Knights at the top, 50 games. Lightning, 50 games, 79 points. And then I'll chuck Phantoms in there. Phantoms, 50 games, 76 points.
Okay, and we know that the last weekend of the season sees Leeds go head-to-head with MK twice. That's on the first week of April, but there's obviously 4 games in between now and then. Plus Leeds have 2 cup games, which the first of being this Friday. Whew. It's a lot going on. My question to you is actually not will Leeds win the title. I think it's fairly nailed on that Leeds will win the title now. Will the Phantoms finish above MK?
Oh, no. I don't know. I think MK will still have it. They want to finish above the Phantoms still. Even
for sure.
win the title, but they still want to hold that place above the Phantoms. So I think that I said that Lightning would win the league a while back. At the start of the season, I actually said the Knights, but then I changed it to the Lightning, so I've got to stick with them. They're not going to win the league, of course. I think Leeds have got it wrapped up, but yeah, so Lightning to stay second.
It's interesting. Obviously, we touched on like the form in the EPL in the Elite League. Sorry, EPL throwback right there. But I saw something on Twitter. Jamie Bartholomew tagged us in, and it was the form table from Christmas from the National League, which was quite interesting to go through. And I can't find it now. Typical. No, I literally was reading it like 10 minutes. Maybe I sent it into the group. Let me have a little look. Mark, while I'm looking for that, can you run down the rest of the scores, please, mate?
Yeah, so Saturday we had the Hull Seahawks a 4-2 win against the Raiders. Huge result for them. Not really going to mean much now, but that's good to see them pick up another win. The Wildcats, as we touched on there, beat the Knights 2-1 in the shootout. The Bison with a 5-4 win against the Bees at home. The Pitbulls with a 5-4 loss at home to the Steel Dogs. And we also touched on MK with a 5-4 loss in overtime to the Phantoms. Then going to Sunday, we had the Steel Dogs, we said, with a 7-2 win against MK. Bees with a 4-2 loss to Leeds Knights. The Raiders with a 4-2 home win against the Wildcats. Phantoms with another win, and that was at home to the Pitbulls 5-3. And the Tigers, they give the Bison a 9-3 hammering.
Pumped. It's 7-0 at one stage that game, which is disappointing if you're a Basingstoke fan, I'm sure. But I'm sure if you're a Tigers fan, you're absolutely buzzing. So yeah, the form table since the 1st of January, Leeds played 23, 37 points. Milton Keynes played 20, 30 points. Peterborough played 21, 30 points. Sheffield 22, 28 points. Swindon 21, 27 points. Raiders 23, 27 points. Bison 20, 19 points. Telford 19, 14 points. Bees 14 points in 21 games. And then Hull 22 games, 12 points. This is the one that surprised me. Bristol Pitbulls only had 11 points in their last 19 games. They're bottom of the form table since the turn of the year. Obviously, Owen's been out injured. You'll hear that on the episode that's coming out this week. That's going to play a key factor in that. Hopefully, they get him back in the roster for the games next weekend. They got a big weekend. They got Basingstoke and I believe Hull that weekend. So they're going to want him firing on all cylinders straight out the gate, aren't they?
Oh yeah, huge player.
Yeah, he's going to need some huge players, small in structure, big on their scoreboard, over a point a game, and they need him to be back, and they need him to be firing to get out of this rut they're in. But the league itself, oh shit, dropped my phone.
The league itself, I want to say the cool thing, just looking at that table and stats, when you look on last season and how unfortunate they were under the circumstances to miss out on the playoffs, you've got the Raiders in 6th there. I think they've had a great season.
Yeah, they've had a very good year.
They lost a huge player in Sladkovsky, but they've recruited well. And yeah, to see him in 6th position, I think is a great achievement for the Raiders. You know, that is a strong league. You know, the top half of that league, and you see the Wildcats in 5th, the Tigers in 7th, the Bison in 8th. You know, like you would normally, no disrespect, but last season Raiders were the lower side of that. They were in a false position last season, I would say, but to be in 6th with I
think they're a much better team this year.
Yeah.
Just the way the outlook of the team, their imports have performed well. The guys that are supposed to be doing what they're supposed to be doing, i.e. putting pucks in net, have been doing it. Ethan's stopping the puck. Winterbank's been playing some games as well. They're doing things the right way, Romford, and we'll see what happens with them next year, but I can see them going from strength to strength. You've got to remember, at certain stages in the EPL era, they were winning stuff.
Yeah.
They were in the most that they had Amiot, Power, and all those guys. They were just ripping the league apart. So it'd be interesting to see if they ever get back to that. I mean, I'm sure the clubs above them will have something to say about it. But if they continue to build with some of these younger guys and they keep getting 50, 60 games a season and getting better and improving, there's a lot of guys that come from round that way on that roster.
Yeah, very local roster.
It makes a difference, makes a huge difference. And this gives you a little bit more budget for a better import or however it works out. In the long run, it's going to be good. They have the ice rink for it. They have a great facility. What do you make of the Tigers' form since the turn in the year? Obviously, they're right down on that form table, down near the bottom. Tommy Watkins won't be happy with that. But the last couple of weeks here, in like the shorter range of form, they've picked up a couple of wins. So leading into the playoffs, it looks like they're going to firmly secure their spot. Not a problem. And the Bison are probably going to join them. The result is either tie against Leeds or MK. So it's going to be tough for the Bison or Telford, whoever they get.
Yeah, out of the two, I'd rather play the Bison than the Tigers. I think the Tigers have hit a bit of form. I know they've been quite inconsistent, but the 9-3 win against the Bison, huge confidence booster for them. Playoff time is different. They've picked up some results. I think, out of the two, the Tigers are a little bit more dangerous. I'm a little bit surprised with Bison this year, but I can't. They're going to prove me wrong probably, but I see Tigers as the side that I wouldn't want to face out of the two come playoff time.
It's interesting. Again, I wonder how much travel comes into it as well. If you're Leeds, would you rather go to Telford or Basingstoke? Would you rather play at Telford rink or would you rather play at Basingstoke rink? How's your form been against both teams? Well, it's Leeds, so your form's been fucking legit against everybody. So,
everyone.
Yeah, literally everyone. So they don't really have a bogey team. I think we touched on it this year. This year, their biggest defeat 4-1.
Yeah, was it 4-1 to Swindon?
What would be interesting if we end up with a Swindon Wildcats Leeds kind of semi-final at Coventry, because in one-off games, Swindon have actually beat Leeds 2 or 3 times this year.
Swindon are a good side.
They are a good side. They're in a position due to like a bit of a shit run of form for a few weeks, weren't they?
Yeah.
But they've turned it around. They picked up some wins over the big teams as well, which you always know Aaron Nell's teams are going to be up for it. Scott Blues, his boy, he's going to be taking them from the back end and try to galvanize something. He's a leader on that team now. I like Bebris. I think he's class act.
Yeah.
Oh, what I've got here, I don't know if I've actually spoke about it on any of the videos. I'm dusting the wheels off, folks. I'm going to be playing in Floyd Taylor's Testimonial. next month. I believe it's Saturday the 22nd, 6:30 face-off down in Swindon. You can check it out on Floyd Taylor 12. I believe that's his Instagram handle. And all the details are on there. There's Facebook, Twitter, etc. You'll find all the details. He's announced some beauties for this already. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. It is the weekend after Nottingham, so plenty of people are going to be around. Come down, check it out. Make sure you get your tickets. I think we're all going to stay down, have some pints, and have a bit of fun. Going to bring Brody, get him on the ice for a little hot lap, which is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, obviously you're getting to catch up with all the boys, so it's going to be a good crack. Moving on from that, Swindon Wildcats, obviously talked about them. Romford, we talked about them. Teams we haven't talked about, Hull and Bracknell. Both seem to have been playing better of late. I mean, the Bees got a point in Basingstoke. They lost in a shootout. They ran Leeds very close. They picked up a win last weekend. Hull, they picked up a victory over the Raiders, they're no mugs. So that's a good result from Hull. They've made a couple of key re-signings for next year already. I think they're going to get a different Hull Seahawks team next year.
Oh, I said that months ago. Definitely. They had a really unfortunate start to the season.
It was a gong show.
Really, really, really fucked their season up. Just over it. I think, as the season's gone on, especially the latter months, they've shown that they can beat teams, that they have quality. I mean, you look at their roster. Their roster is good.
Yeah, they've got some good players, good young guys.
Good. Yeah, and I do think that next season they will be in a stronger position, for sure.
I still think the issue they have, and it's a big, big issue, they don't have a replacement for Matty Davis.
No, that's...
Because you're going to have to get the fucking checkbook out. You're going to have to get the checkbook out if you're going to replace Matty.
Yeah.
You're going to have to get a player of his quality.
He's like an import.
You're going to have to spend some dough, and which is fine. But I don't know who goes there, because who in their right mind, i.e. if you're at Leeds or at Steel Dogs and you're one of the big boys and you're either finishing first, second or third or whatever, you're up in the mix. It's going to take more than money to get you to move to Hull. I think what's going to be crucial for Hull, if they can get 2 or 3 guys early in the summer or April, really, it's probably already as soon as the games finish. April, Coventry weekend, there was obviously the notorious time in the EPL where all the tapping up would start, and maybe the tapping up would start a little bit earlier. But if you can do that and you can sign and announce it before everybody else signs their guys, you go, oh, Hull sign him. So you're negotiating. You're going, actually, see what you're doing here. Maybe I will move. The money plus the guys that you're signing is enough to get you to go. Because if you think, well, we're going to make the playoffs, we might not win the league, but we're going to be in the mix and we're going to make playoffs with that roster and we're going to be competitive. I don't know how they do it, but Matty's got his hands full with the Seahawks, but they will be better next year. Much the same as what you just said about Romford on last year versus this year. Yeah. Ninth last year, they were 6th this year. Do not be surprised. Hull finished 11th this year if you see them in 7th or 8th next year. Two imports for a full season, a replacement of some description for Matty, another year's development for the younger guys. They'll be a bit better next year.
Definitely.
What else have we forgot? Well, shout out to Chelmsford, big 7-2 win for them over Streatham at the weekend. And don't think we forgot Solway, but obviously we're going to be talking to the boys on a separate video. So we're just not going to pump their tyres up any more than we already need to. They're going to be getting enough wristers later for the whole weekend. So they've won a cup, they've won a league. What a weekend for them, and we'll talk to them later. But Mark, anything else for the wrap up, or are we good here?
No, we're good.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I think it's been an interesting weekend of hockey. Next weekend's going to chuck up even more twists and turns. Looking forward to that. We'll bring you next week's roundup on Monday or Tuesday, depending on recording. But tune in, make sure you subscribe, comment, like, share, do all the usual stuff to help us out with the algorithms. But for now, peace.